Alright, today on the channel we're going to take a look at this absolutely massive 12 terabyte retro gaming hard drive. This thing is jam-packed with over 100,000 games, or so it says, and by God, this is honestly the most impressive retro gaming plug-and-play hard drive I've ever tested. You know, I've tested quite a few. This one literally has the most systems, the most games of any hard drive I've ever tested. A couple of the drawbacks: first and foremost, it is massive. It does have a giant fan on it. It is a little bit noisy, but it isn't, you know, too cumbersome. You're not gonna have to put on headphones to drown it out or anything like that. And since it is such a massive hard drive, it does need an external power source, which of course it does come with. Like I said, this is the most impressive hard drive that I've ever tested as far as the amount of games and emulators that come preloaded on it. It does have 6 different operating systems, which is a little bit redundant and kind of crazy in my opinion, but you got BigBox, you got LaunchBox, you got RetroBat, you got Playnite, you got modern games on here, as well as the retro consoles, all your modern consoles, everything's on there. But the thing that piqued my interest was Tekno Parrot. I don't ever see Tekno Parrot. Tekno Parrot basically representing the modern arcade from the 2000s and above. I'm excited to check this out just because, like I said, having Tekno Parrot arcade games on here, as well as all the retro consoles, as well as your modern games, I mean, this really does it all. You will need a PC that does have a technically semi-robust setup if you want to play these modern Tekno Parrot, as well as the modern, you know, PC Playnite games on here. But keep that in mind. Just, you know, fair warning, if you're expecting to plug this into something that's running like Windows 98 and doesn't have a graphics card, not really going to be a product for you. But let's go ahead and plug it into my gaming computer and see what kind of gaming we can get out of this plug and play bad boy. We're just gonna go right into it. Go to Core and the Core EXE. I've got everything I need to run this. You may have to install some Microsoft redistributable files. You'll find out instantly if you try to, you know, load this up and it doesn't work. But this is the goofy little splash screen we get to, and then we should go right into the Hyperspin kind of operating system. So we have, you know, our Tekno Parrot emulator, Kodi, LaunchBox, BigBox, Playnite, RetroBat, and then that's it. Like I said, you're going to have all your games in all different categories. We'll just go ahead and look at RetroBat real quick. So there we go. PC Engine, Turbo Graphics, Super Graphics. You know, like I said, your Nintendo, even, you know, hack ROM files, whether you want them or not, they're available. Every old system, every new system, it's pretty much going to be represented on this thing, like all the way up to Nintendo Switch, you know, 3DS. I mean, it's there, and like I said, there is a healthy mix of games in each category. It's obviously not going to encompass the entire library of every single one of these systems, but for the most part, as you can see, it's a pretty healthy dose of games. I mean, we're not even, you know, halfway through the alphabet here, and this is just for Nintendo Switch. Back out, open bore, Sega, you name it, it's on here. And like I said, again, another great healthy dose of games on here. You'd be hard pressed to find a lot of the major titles missing from any of these categories. But PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, your arcade titles, and you got subcategories: light gun games, arcade vertical games, and then we'll go down to LaunchBox, BigBox. And this is a little bit redundant with the RetroBat. It's going to be basically representing the same games and systems. It's just a different user interface. It's kind of a head scratcher to me why we have multiple user interfaces on here when they're all basically bundled under this Hyperspin. But to each their own. Maybe you like this one better. You know, we got our titles here, and it shows down there underneath the joysticks and the buttons. You can see how many games are preloaded under each category. So we got 62 Xbox games, 116 Xbox 360, and again, you're gonna have a whole lot of games on here. Another downside on this is there also is multiple copies of games for every different region, so it kind of does bloat these numbers a little bit, but there are subcategories. So right here you see Nintendo 64 European games, USA games, and of course we have the elusive Nintendo 64 disc drive games, a whole 10 whopping titles. All the games you want to play on here. Like I said, this is just the most loaded hard drive I've ever seen out there on the market today. Nintendo Wii, 800 games, it says. Wii U, 109. I mean, let's go ahead and just check out some of these. Lots of great games on here. Like I said, you got the nice little splash screen with a preview. That way, if you're trying to, explore and find some new titles that you've never heard of or never experienced, you can get a quick look at them just for the video over there. And as you can see, we've got a bunch of modern games here. Sega Sonic All-Star Racing, great game. Sonic Dash, Spider-Man Homecoming, Star Wars Battle Pod, one of my absolute favorites out there. A lot of great titles out here. I'm just going to get right into it. I'll show you some awesome gameplay from some of these Tekno Parrot titles, and you can really see that this thing is, far and away the most loaded hard drive I've ever tested out there. And so far, my only real complaint is the fact that we got multiple operating systems all bundled under one when it really doesn't need to be that kind of, broken up and confusing. And again, with the minor gripe of multiple region copies of games being loaded on here, so it kind of unnecessarily bloats the titles and the counts out there when you got thousands of games. In reality, it's hundreds of games in certain categories, because you got a European version, American version, Japanese version of games out there, and then you've got different ROM variations. Street Fighter comes to mind. There's like 10,000 versions of Street Fighter 2 on here, which is absolutely mind-blowing why it needs that many, but that's what happens when you load up those different files. So let's get right into the gameplay.